The rose-pink Tudor bricks of Beaumont Court glowed in the light of a sun that had not long risen over the ridge of hills to the east of Maybridge. A faint mist curled along the river, creeping over the long meadow, dewing the gleaming traction engines of the steam fair, and on the bank the sleeping ducks had their heads tucked under their wings. Yesterday evening the place had been packed with workmen making last-minute tweaks to the showing rings and gymkhana arena where 4 days of events would take place. Local plantsmen and flower arrangers had been putting the finishing touches to their stands. Gardeners, bakers and makers of wine, beers, cordials and every kind of preserve had arrived to lay out their produce for judging. Photographers had been hanging their pictures, and parents had brought along children proudly carrying miniature gardens, flower posies, painted stones and vegetable animals to place on the display tables for the children's competition. There were all the trappings of a classic country show. But this year, piggybacking on the success of Malvern and Tatton Park flower shows, the organising committee had decided to take the Maybridge show upmarket and include several classes of show gardens. Designers from all over the country had been working to the 11th hour, making final amendments to a whole variety of classes, from balcony gardens to the largest of the show gardens, which had a back-to-nature theme. All of them were hoping to create the standard of perfection that would command a gold medal. To add to the excitement, the show organisers had persuaded Maybridge-born celebrity gardener Daisy Dashwood to film her weekly show, The Potting Shed, in the central marquee. It might not be Chelsea, but after the turmoil of the previous year, it felt like a fresh start for local garden designer Abby Finch. Her vision had been clear, her design accepted, and she and her Earthly Designs team had spent the last 3 weeks creating an abandoned quarry that looked as if it had been gradually reclaimed by nature. She hadn't had time to worry about what the judges, or Daisy Dashwood, would make of it. When the bell had signalled that time was up the previous afternoon, she had been too tired to think of anything beyond sinking her aching limbs into a warm, lavender-scented bath. Now, though, all was quiet as she approached her garden and saw the envelope pinned to the board that said, Abby Finch, Earthly Designs, the Old Quarry. Her heart was beating so hard it was making her ears ring. She reached for the envelope, then drew back. While it was closed, it could be anything. Schrödinger's award. What is it? Lucy, her oldest daughter, who'd dropped her at the gate and had clearly run all the way from the car park, demanded. What have you got? Abby shook her head. I can't look. You open it. Mum, this is your big moment. Or not. Lucy rolled her eyes but took the envelope, flipped open the flap, pulled the card out halfway and held it against her chest. You'd better sit down, Mum.